All right. Question number 3 here comes in from Beth. Hi there, Beth. Thank you for your question. Beth says, can I cancel a contract with an estate agent? It's a sole agency after a year without giving 14 days notice. They have sold our house STC. We want to move fast, but the agent and buyers appear to be deliberately delaying things. Communication between us all is dreadful. We are constantly calling the agent and being told they will call back. I am always told the same thing, that they are out of the office and they will call back. They never do, and nor do they reply to emails. They don't have a physical branch, so it's not like I can drop by their office. Is this poor service enough to justify ending the contract? And will I have to pay their fee still if I progress with the current buyer? Okay, great question, Beth. I can understand your frustration. I'm sorry to hear that you're in that situation. And it's interesting that this has happened after a year of being with this particular agent. And it sounds to me like you're dealing with online only. Not that that's usually a problem, but obviously in this situation where you're trying to get answers out of people and there's nowhere to go, it can obviously be a major headache. So here's how I would handle it. If you go to the agent, if you communicate with them in a way that says, you want to cancel the contract, you've had enough, you're unhappy with the level of service, try and explain it calmly. Okay, don't just go off emotionally and ranting and raving. Try to explain it calmly and just say, look, this is what's happened. I'm really fed up. I'm cancelling the contract with you and I'm withdrawing the house off the market. Now, the likelihood is, if your contract is a typical one that is used within the estate agency world, it's likely that there will be a 12-week marketing period, okay? And then after that, you have the freedom to pull the property off the market with either paying a small amount of marketing expenses or none at all if it's a no sale, no fee agreement. But there will be likely that there's a caveat in the contract that says, if you sell the property to anybody that they've introduced as a potential buyer within probably up to 2 years, then the likelihood is you will have to pay them their commission. And they do that to stop. They do this to stop, buyers and sellers cutting the agent out and doing the deal privately between them, and then the agent gets nothing for all the hard work and effort that they put into it. But by you going to say you're going to cancel the contract should hopefully get the agent to rear their head so that you can have this conversation that says, you know what, I've been your client, I'm not getting the answers that I expected from you guys, I'm really disappointed, and this is what I kind of expected you to do as my agent acting for me. You haven't done that, and I'm getting pretty upset. Okay, now they may tell you where to go. It's a possibility. I would hope not, but they may tell you where to go. But more likely what they will do is they will either step up their level of customer service and you'll get the deal done and you'll move and you'll just put that down to a bad experience, or they may even agree to actually capitulate on the fee. That's a possibility. It's worth exploring with them, just to sort of compensate for the service level that you receive, which doesn't appear to be up to par. And I'll give you a parallel for this, Beth. Last week, the wife and I went for a day out, and it was to it's not my usual place that I like to go to, but it was a spa day, to one of these spa facilities and what have you. And it was not a cheap day out, I'll be honest with you. And I was really disappointed with the level of service that we received whilst we were there. There were a couple of things, and it wasn't just in isolation. We went probably about 6 months ago to the same place, and I'll be honest with you, again, it wasn't quite what I felt up to standard, particularly as they're charging premium prices. And so at the end of the experience, I just calmly said, do you have some feedback forms? And I wrote out a bit of a feedback, and I just said, look, guys, to me, as a paying customer, this is what you're offering. You're charging premium prices. This is how the service is panning out for a paying customer's perspective. I think you should raise your game. And I submitted that. There was no name calling. There was no, emotional upset or anything like that. It was just calmly stating the facts from a client's perspective. This is what I experienced by being with you today. And to be fair to them, as good as gold, they emailed me back straight away. Can we talk to you about this? I picked up the phone. I had a 10-minute conversation with them. I just said, look, the British aren't very good at giving feedback because we beat about the bush and we say, oh, it was maybe a little bit this, a little bit that. I said, I'll tell you straight, this is where I'm coming from. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And it didn't make me feel like a particularly valued customer, okay? And I'm one of these people, I'll give feedback based on both ends of the scale. Okay, so if it's average, it's kind of neither here nor there. But if you're at the top end of the scale and you give excellent service, I'll always give you feedback. And if you're at the bottom end of the scale, I'll always like to give you feedback because I want to try and help you, move things forward. And in this case, I just said, look, I can't justify ever coming back because of this was my experience. I don't really think it matched what you're trying to charge, right? And they were very, very good. They dealt with it very, very professionally, and they offered us something out of it that sort of, pleased my wife and I, and it was just like, okay, well, maybe we can do something about this, So it's always worth giving that feedback in a way that I think can help and support the agent in this case. It is tragic that you're getting this, substandard level of service, and it might be a one-off. It might be how they conduct the business. There might be other things going on in the background that we don't know about. So give them the benefit of the doubt. But obviously, your vested interest is to get the property sold and moved as quickly as possible. There's far more cost involved in losing the property that you want to buy and having to pay all the fees and everything else that you've already incurred as costs and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I would try and keep the door open and try and get moved as quickly as possible without causing yourself any headaches and upset. So that's how I deal with that one, Beth. And hope you like my long rambling explanation of other things that hopefully have helped you in terms of getting things done as soon as possible. I hope you guys have enjoyed tuning in. As always, if you've got any questions, any concerns, any comments, any feedback that you want to give us, send it through to us. Happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk. I'm going to continue doing these webinars. I absolutely love them. I get a lot of excitement actually in the lead up to doing these webinars and answering all these questions and seeing what you guys are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. It can be a minefield out there without the right people to go to sort of turn to for advice and everything else. But we're here to help and support as many people as we can. We've got the teams behind us who can help and support you as well. So if it's things like finding a conveyancer, if it's things like your searches, if it's things like your sellers packs, anything like that, then we're here to help and support you as much as we can. So I'm going to say goodbye at that level, guys. Thank you so much indeed for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on another webinar very soon. Thanks indeed for your attention, and good luck and goodbye.